Soft skills are essential to any job, including the one that you're trying to build for yourself. I don't know why I'm still wearing these headphones. And if you are somebody who is looking to create your own business, but you are still working full time, then there are some soft skills, five in particular, that I believe that you should know before you leave that job. And we're going to talk about that on today's show. This is the Millennium Marketing Morning Show. My name is Avedon Smith, and welcome to the show. Before we get started, can I get some waves in the chat, please? Can I? Zeke, look at that. My man, my brother. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Matt already here in the chat with the waves. Let's go. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one today. Cause we got a lot. When I say a lot to talk about, we got a lot to talk about. Part of my lateness, y'all. This laptop around 8:07 was acting up. So I said, you know what? I have enough time to restart it and everything. Took forever to load up. So many different programs. So we finally here. So I was a couple of minutes late this morning, but I do apologize for that. I'm not going to spend too much time on the intro. I'm going to get right into it. So the first soft skill that you need to master before you leave your job, or if you don't even, well, hold up. I thought I got rid of it. Or if, okay, we're good. Or the first soft skill that you need to make sure that you master, whether you leave your job or if you're unemployed right now before you get a job, is communication. You need to develop your communication skills. And communication is not only verbal, it's nonverbal as well. Do you maintain eye contact to the people who you're talking to? How is your handshake? Do you look down when you walk down the hallway? Do you kind of find a way where you don't necessarily feel comfortable, so you overly express your ideas or you overtalk because you're nervous? See, these are all communication cues that can be worked out while you're at your day job or while you are at home or wherever you are right now, whether you're home unemployed or whether you are working from home or whether you are at the job site itself, you could work out your communication skills. Now, the big question may be, how do I work out my communication skills, Avedon? Glad you asked. You see this thing right here? It's called a phone, right? These phone things are a beautiful thing. They're beautiful. I'm just being played. I'm being jocular. I am not patronizing you. These things are so well advanced that we have apps like Chat GPT, and you could literally put on your headphones. And as you have on your headphones, you could go to the voice app, right? I'm being super facetious right now. Please hear my jocular tone with this. I am being entertaining right now. I am not making fun of nobody. But you could literally, to be serious for a moment, you could literally put on your headphones and talk to Chat GPT like a person. And then you could ask, can you develop a beginner, intermediate, and expert communication course that we could work on every single day? And you could come to that prompt every single day and continue where you left off. And Chat GPT will literally train you to do that. You could do that self-serve, no cost or anything. That's one. Two, you could literally go and start making. Two, you could use that as a leverage. Not the second point, but to point 1B. You could use that as leverage now to start talking to people at your job. You could use this as leverage to start talking to people more when you go to the supermarket. When you go to the supermarket, don't be so caught up with what you have in your headphones and you're looking away. No, actually look the cashier in the eye and strike a conversation. You see, these are skills that you need to build before you go out and try to build your own business. You need to be able to talk to people one-on-one, face-to-face. You can't escape that if you want to build your own business. So that's point one, communication skills. Point number two, you need to learn how to adapt. A lot of us, this is not for people who are younger, because people who are younger could often adapt the best. But I'm talking to my older crowd. I'm talking to the people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s watching. Sometimes when you've been accustomed to doing things your own way, you don't want to change up. You don't want to do something new. It's like, I'd rather not. Especially if you've been doing something the same way for a while. Here's the thing. If you've been at a job long enough, the job is going to teach you that policies are going to change, processes are going to change. You need to learn how to master to know how to not only do that, but to create the change yourself. Sometimes, see, the jobs, they'll create it themselves, right? The jobs, they'll do it themselves, but you have to be the person to know how to create the change in order to make yourself adapt. Here's the thing. Let me give you an example. For me, and I'm going to show you how this applied to me. For me, for those of you who are OGs to this channel, I used to be live, and we have receipts on this channel. I used to be live up until 5 a.m. on this channel. Not waking up at 5 a.m., meaning I was live from like 10 p.m. to at least 5 a.m. playing video games on this channel on weekends to entertain you all. So I saw for myself, this wasn't the best thing. I saw for myself that this isn't a real healthy practice for me. So I had to adapt to the change of I'm getting older. I need to prioritize more for my family, for my children, for my wife. And I said, you know what? Let me create something that puts me in a better position. So what I decided to do, instead of streaming to 5 a.m., I made it so I get up at 5 a.m. I get my clock in time is at 9 a.m. I get up at 5 o'clock or 5:30 every single morning. And in that time span, I have my prayer time. I have my reading time. I have my gym time. I have my content planning time. And I even, as y'all can see, I have my content recording and my content production time. I do all of that before 9 a.m. So you need to learn how to create the change before the change can happen. And when you know how to create changes, this puts you in the best position to know how to adapt to the new changes coming in. Latanja says, wisdom, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Before we go on to point 3, 4, and 5, here's a word. Hey, you. Have you been to the chillmerch.com? Chillmerch.com has all of my latest merch line for you. If you like regular shirts, if you like taking notes, or if you like playing video games like me and you want to protect your Nintendo Switch, we got you. So go to the chillmerch.com. You will not regret it. All right, point 3. Point 3 is time management. I cannot express enough that time management isn't saying I do this at this time, this at this time, this and this time, this and this time. That's a form of time management, but oftentimes it doesn't necessarily give room for unexpected circumstances. It doesn't give room. And I could tell you, every time I try to set a calendar and set up a schedule, no matter what, it gets off the hinges because a lifestyle change happens where I have to change it all around, and you're going to constantly change things around. Here's the thing, and here's how you create perfect time management. You give yourself deadlines. And when I say deadlines, you give yourself either a daily deadline, a weekly deadline, a bi-weekly deadline, a monthly deadline, a quarterly deadline, half a year deadline, yearly deadline. Give yourself deadlines so you have enough window space. Because when you have enough window space, you give yourself more discretionary time to use at your disposal. And when you have more time to use at your disposal, now you don't really have the excuse to say, oh, something came up. Well, you have more time if you use it correctly. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to show you all. Where's something that I can use it as a prop? I use it as a prop. So I'm going to tell you, here's a clear example with time management, right? I know that I have books that I want to read throughout the year, but I am at my job. I'm blessed to work from home. I'm at my job a lot of the times. So here's one of the things that we all do. What happens when you have free time and you feel like I don't really have much to do. We get on our phones and we do this, right? We all know this motion, right? I'm looking at different sides. I pretend I'm looking at all of you in the camera. We do this on our phones a lot, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Let me show you something. Let me just show you something. Even if you did that for 5 minutes for 8 hours a day, out of every 8 hours, you did that for 5 minutes, just scrolling your phone. You just put 40 minutes into scrolling on your phone for your workday. Let that sink in for a second. For that 5 minutes per hour you did, you put in 40 minutes that day of scrolling on your phone. Now, here's what I decided to do. Next to my phone at work, I put a book. This is not the book I have, but this is just the closest book. I put a book next to my phone. So now my brain has to choose, do I want to scroll or do I want to read? Sometimes the scroll gets the win. I'm not going to sit here in front, but now that I have a choice, the time to start reading through books starts to decrease now. Because now 25 minutes, let's just say I spent 25 minutes reading a book today. Wow. What is the average time people normally would spend reading a book? Sometimes you have your avid readers who read for hours and hours, of course. But for you now, who doesn't read that much, wouldn't 25 minutes in a day seem like a big win to someone who didn't read as much? And then, what happens when you get off work? Now, if you got interested in the book, you can put an extra half hour into it if you have the time. So that is an example of time management. It's like, if you really want time management to work for you, you're going to need to start looking at your habits and see which ones are time depreciating and which ones are time assets. And what is a time asset? A time asset is something that will give you a good return of your time in the long run. So I could get a lot deeper into that, but we got 2 more points and we're already 13 minutes and we started a little bit late today. So 4th point, collaborative efforts, teamwork. You need to know how to work as a team. Any job that hires you to work interdependently with their team. No one hires you to be like a standalone pillar where it's just you. No, you're always going to work with somebody. So because you're always going to work with somebody, you're going to need to take that over into your business as if I need to work with somebody else. A lot of people make the mistake to thinking that they're entrepreneurs when they're really just self-employed. And you could be a very well of self-employed person. I'm not knocking it. But in order for your business to be the best that it can be, I will argue. I will argue from a principle standpoint at that. I'm embracing this off principle. If it's just you running the business is incomplete. Because the law of nature, the law of creation shows that in order for something to be birthed, in order for something to be put into creation, you need at least two parties in order for that to happen. Let me mute this. I thought I muted that. I don't want no calls, nothing coming in. You need to make that happen. So the law of creation shows that you need a male and a female in order to make offspring. You see that in the animal kingdom and you see that with humans. That's the law of creation in full effect. So because of that, you need to see your business like that. If I have an idea, I only have part of the idea. No matter how much I am in tune with God or not, I only have part of the idea. The scripture says we know in part and we prophesy in part. So we know if knowledge comes in parts, think about that for a second. Prophecy comes in parts, knowledge comes in parts. If knowledge comes in parts, you need a team to get the full picture and the full building together. Period. And if you think that I'm going to say this. If you think you could just cheat your way using AI all the time, you can use AI as a starting place. But if you think you can use AI all the time to get your way through, it's not going to happen. you won't last for the long haul. I promise you. Fifth one, last one. You need to understand this one really, again, this goes back to having a team. You need to learn how to resolve problems. You need to have good problem resolution skills. And what I mean by that is when an issue occurs, how do you deal with it? Do you get upset and do you take it personally and do you always respond in an aggressive way? Or do you take the time to be slow to speak, quick to listen, and be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to anger. There we go. Are you slow? I mixed them up. Are you slow to anger? Are you slow to speak? And are you quick to listen? You have two of these, one of these. So this should be working double time than this, especially when you're in business. Whether you're working for somebody else or you're working for yourself or you're an entrepreneur building a business and hiring other people, you need to utilize this more because utilizing this enables this to be more effective. That's why it says, he who has an ear, let him hear. He who has eyes, let them see. He didn't say, let he who has a mouth, let him talk. He didn't say that. He said, he who has the things we have two of, use. Things you have one of, he wasn't too quick to say use that. So you need to know how to resolve problems by observing and listening. Once you could identify the problem by observing, you could understand the problem by listening. This makes you more effective. Using this becomes way more effective. That's how problems are solved in the marketplace. No problem is solved. Oh, I got this great idea, and I'm going to put it to the marketplace. Yet no one in the marketplace has ever said your idea, ever wanted your idea, ever showed that they wanted your idea. If it's not what nobody wants, you're in it for yourself. So those are 5 soft skills that you can take with you into the marketplace. I hope that was helpful. Does anyone have any questions, any feedback? I know I said a lot, but does anyone have any questions or any feedback? And yes, I really got that 5 o'clock this morning. So if y'all see that I'm on 10, that's why. I encourage you. And if you have not already, please hit that like button. It really helps. It really helps the channel. Whether you're on Twitter, hit the heart button. Whether you're on Facebook, we got like, we got love, we got care, we got laugh, we got anger, we got wow, we got sad. You got all those. Hit all those on Facebook if you want to. And on YouTube, got the thumbs up. Hit me with a thumbs up over on YouTube. But any questions or any feedback at all? Jess, welcome, by the way. I was already in the zone, so I did see your comment though. Welcome. Appreciate you coming in on the tail end. Because if that be all, we could moonwalk ourselves on out of here. Moonwalk on ourselves on out of here. All right. So that being said, we're gonna get on out of here. So with that being said, I appreciate you all. I thank you for coming out. This is always good. If you all enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most of all, you make sure you share this with a friend. This is Abaddon, and we are out. Peace.